Hey guys, today's word comes from the book of Chronicles, chapter 33. We still continue on the story of King Manasseh, and we can see in verse 3 to verse 6 how the detestable things that Manasseh did. He worshipped idols, he offered his children to the gods, he consulted mediums, spiritists, and all these things, practiced sorcery, divination. And in verse 10, the Lord spoke to Manasseh and his people, but they paid no attention. So God tries to warn King Manasseh of his actions and how he's leading the people, but they did not pay attention. So the Lord brought against the army commanders of the king of Syria, who took Manasseh prisoner, put a hook on his nose, bound him with bronze shackles, and took him to Babylon. In his distress, he sought the favor of the Lord his God, and humbled himself greatly before God of his fathers. And he prayed to him, and the Lord was moved by his entreaty, and listened to his plea. So he brought him back to Jerusalem, to his kingdom. Then Manasseh knew that the Lord is God. One thing that I should emphasize is that Manasseh is the son of Hezekiah, and Hezekiah is a king that greatly feared God and honored him. But despite having such a father, he chose all these ways. And what we can see is that the Lord, in his mercy and compassion, wants Manasseh and the people, but they do not pay attention. So the Lord allowed the army commanders of Assyria, to take Manasseh as prisoner. You can see like a whole king who has been prisoned like an animal, and a hook is put on his nose, and he's bound in bronze and in shackles. This king that thought he was so mighty, and in that moment, that is the only way he could hear the voice of God. And so in that moment, he called the God of his fathers. In this teaching, I would like to just say, what is this moment or this suffering or this struggle that has caused you to remember the God of your fathers, the God that delivers, the God that saves? We can see that Manasseh did all these things, but none of his gods helped him. But when he remembered the one and true God, the Lord heard him and restored him. In this reading, I will urge you, when you hear the voice of God, do not harden your heart, but pray to him, humble yourself, and he will restore you.